So it's not all bad news, though. All right, guys, it's not all bad news. And that's because a lot of what's been affecting the crypto market and money coming into the market is a depressed economy due to inflation and other factors, cost of energy, that sort of thing. We've already heard from Trump that cost of energy was going to come down. And then here just recently, today, we did get an announcement that there could be an income tax economic strategy that would take us back in time, ladies and gentlemen. Former President Donald Trump, that's current president now. I don't know why it says former now, has proposed replacing income taxes with tariffs, citing the historical success of tariffs from 1870 to 1913. During the time when the U.S. relied heavily on tariffs for revenue under President McKinley, his proposal involves potentially increasing tariffs to 67% on imports to offset the loss of income tax revenue, aiming to eliminate the IRS and its associated costs. However, this policy has sparked debate over its feasibility and economic impact, with concerns about increased consumer prices and the effectiveness of tariffs in modern trade dynamics. We had a follow-up post here that is Trump actually stating this specifically
America's
today.
going to be very rich again.
And we'll go ahead and play this volume, turn this volume up for you guys so you can hear it.
And it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before. Do you know the United States in 1870 to 1913, all tariffs, and that was the richest period in the history of the United States, relatively speaking. In other words, relatively. And they set up the Great Tariff Commission of 1887. And this commission had one function: what to do with all the money that we took in. It was so enormous that they had no idea. It was a blue ribbon committee. It was set up 1887. And what to do with all of the money that we had. And again, Teddy Roosevelt was a beneficiary because when McKinley was killed, he took over this vast sum.
So at the beginning, there was the key point confirming that this is
the
actually an economic proposal by the Trump administration. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to debate this. I've heard that it disproportionately affects the poor. I disagree. If the economic plan to bring back manufacturing and all of that into the United States, and you have U.S. available products to purchase, then it won't affect the poor near as much, and especially when we're talking about energy, all that sort of stuff. What this would do is potentially put money back in the pockets of consumers, which means if they have extra money, there's different ways to do this too, right? We saw it in the pandemic. People had spare cash laying around because we printed ourselves out of it. What did people do with the spare cash? They dumped it into the crypto market. So we could see basically a different strategy applied that results with the same thing of pumping up the cryptocurrency market as a whole. Now, across the board, will it be enough to cover the millions of different tokens and coins that are currently available? Sure, it could be, but it also could not be. And I think the answer, as always, is somewhere in the middle. So we'll have to wait and see where and how that comes down and is fed into the market as a whole. So there you go. As far as that's concerned, I am trying to keep up with chat, but some people say that they're like sales tax. Obviously, there has been discussion of removing sales tax as well. I don't know because that would be at a state level. So we'd have to figure out how that is applied later on down the line. Lil Time Mining says, let loose the bulls. There you go. And Rusty Wilson says, get ready for mining equipment to get even more expensive. I think there can be the concern of mining equipment getting more expensive, but with a more expensive initial investment, if the economics work out to where the price of the coin goes up in relation to that, it's a wash as a whole. We do need more chip manufacturing stateside. This has been something talked about, especially with ASICs, getting ASIC manufacturing stateside. I think that all of these, um, you know, all of these little concerns are things that are being addressed. I think everybody is aware of them. They're very common sense things. And so I think when we're talking about it as a whole, I have seen all the mentions of like incentivizing manufacturing stateside, which I think is what it will do, which will bring more jobs in theory, which will basically reduce the amount of poor people we have overall because there's more availability, more opportunity for individuals, which that's how you get rid of poverty is you give more opportunity to individuals. And it gives entry level job opportunities as well because you have assembly job entry opportunities, etc., available for that. So, and then obviously it's not zero tax. I think you misunderstand the statement there in chat. It's not zero tax. It's tariffs, so it's tax on goods and services that are outside of the United States. Of course, this is going to be completely opposite of what the tech industry has been doing for the past 2 decades, which has been moving all manufacturing overseas. And we'll have to see how much of it and how quickly it comes back to the States. And that will be obviously impactful. And if anybody thinks it's going to be an easy transition, I would say no. But at the same time, we will see more money in the pockets of at least the middle class, which will interpret into investments into crypto, which should drive the market up and counteract some of the diluted cryptocurrency market that we're seeing right now. The Aussie says that he thinks the mining Bitcoin game has changed and the zero tax on crypto in the US has most certainly changed my savings plans. That will help drive up cryptocurrency as well. Now, it is only US cryptocurrency projects, but how many people are going to convert to US dollar in a non US cryptocurrency at this point? I think it's very few, if any. I think that regulating that is going to be difficult, meaning, let's say I'm mining Conflux. That's a good example, a Chinese coin on GPU. And then when I need to convert and sell, I just convert that on a non KYC exchange to Bitcoin and I shoot that Bitcoin over. And then that's when I cash out to take advantage of the no capital gains tax. I think that, and then so there could be over regulation when they recognize that problem. And I'm not sure how that will play out. But we'll have to see here in the future how it plays out. Anyways, some positive news, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I realize not everybody's going to agree, but you guys can. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.